Thank you for joining us today on Something to Think About with Pastor Mike, where the topics can range from current events, historical perspectives, practical Bible application, to whatever's on his mind today. People have stereotypes of what it means to be a Christian, and one thing's for sure, Pastor Mike loves breaking those stereotypes. Pastor Mike Hasseltine is the senior pastor of Maranatha Church with campuses in Forest Lake and Chisago, Minnesota. With over 40 years of practical pastoral ministry, Pastor Mike challenges us to be real people, loving a real God, right in the midst of all our real lives. Now, here's Pastor Mike.
Hey, good morning and welcome. Thanks for joining the show. Something to think about. How you doing, Pastor Robin?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You're doing well? I'm good.
Good.
Yes, had a big breakfast already.
I'm working on mine.
Men's Bible study, you know. And we have a great... We have a Bible study from 7 until 7:30. And then at 7:30, we eat breakfast.
It looks like a nice full group in there.
Yeah, it is. And it's a great breakfast.
For sure.
Oh, man. I mean... like an egg bake full of sausage and peppers, bacon sometimes. And then we have a whole pan of bacon. We have a whole pan of sausages. Today there was pancakes and biscuits and gravy.
I know. And I got to say, shout out to Chef Dan, because not everybody can do a great job with sausage gravy, and he really does.
So one guy at the Bible study this morning said he's never had that his whole life. Ever.
Interesting.
I said, you mean you've never had it at Maranatha? He goes, no, I've never had it my whole life. I go, well, I'm just going to prepare you. If you go to Country Kitchen or whatever and you order this, it's going to be really white, kind of peppery, and not near as flavorful as what Dan makes.
Yeah.
Dan's got, man, the flavor of meat juices in there, and it's like, ooh, it's spicy. It's great. Jay, how you doing this morning?
Doing great, man.
Fantastic.
Hey, did you have some of that biscuits and gravy?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I'm going to start eating healthy tomorrow.
I was wondering if Dan made it a little darker in color, like a tan instead of the white, just so you'd be more comfortable eating it.
Well, because the white creamy stuff. You know, I can eat. It doesn't make sense.
I know.
And our listeners aren't having a clue because
I just sometimes can't keep tracks. Like
because,
cottage
I know.
cheese? Nope, I can eat cottage cheese. How about this? No, I ain't eating that.
Yeah, I can eat the white gravy that they put on like a chicken steak.
Oh, yeah, country fried steak.
Yeah, country fried steak and the biscuits and gravy at a restaurant type thing. I can actually eat that, and it doesn't make sense.
You know what sausage gravy is really good on? Crispy hash browns.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Save
but you
your
got to
biscuit.
eat quick.
Yeah, for like jam.
Because otherwise it turns those crispy hash browns soggy.
Right. Exactly.
So you got to eat them quick.
Yep.
It's like when I make my Italian hash, because I've done it a couple times for the staff.
Yeah.
Same thing. You can't mix that whole thing together too soon, because then the hash browns lose their crispiness.
They do.
And you want
but
that.
But it's so good. Lots of flavor in that.
Yeah. I enjoy making it.
We enjoy having you do that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's like, that's good. That's good. Just do it again. Let's do it again. So, what do we have coming up for National Days?
Okay, so National Days.
I love this. For our listeners, if you're just tuning in new, Robin always goes through some national, because there are national days out there.
Right.
And there's a bunch of them. You'd think that there'd be like one thing on, this is the national day of.
Right.
No, there's a list.
No, well, there's only 365 days, and everybody wants their turn. So you've got to, load them up.
So each day has like 10, 15 things.
It totally does.
So what's today?
Pardon me. International Albinism Awareness Day. Albinism, yeah, that genetic.
Albinos, yeah.
Yep, exactly. It's also International Axe Throwing Day. Ooh, doesn't that sound like fun? Should we try here today?
Have you done it?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, but not officially or professionally or at an axe throwing thing. I've hurled axes, but I've not.
And did Arnie duck really good?
No, he wasn't around.
Oh, you weren't throwing it at him?
I would never throw an axe at him. He's my sweetie.
Yeah. So Orlean and I've been to professional places a couple times throwing axes. And then I made an axe throwing thing at our house. So when the grandkids come over, we throw knives and throw axes.
If you ever decide to sell your house, you should feature that. It's a feature, like people have a really nice refrigerator or, We have
axe throwing.
Axe throwing. National Chamoy Day, which is a Mexican condiment. National Dance Movement Therapy Advocacy Day, as I'm moving in my chair here. National Kitchen Klutzes of America Day.
Wow, that'd be
Kitchen
a popular.
Klutzes. Well, and that's kind of narrow. I mean, it's only in America. Surely there are kitchen clutches all
over the world. Yeah,
Klutzes. National Productive Business Civility Day. So they want you to be civil at work and productive at the same time. Okay, whole lot in that. National Sewing Machine Day.
See, that's, I mean, they got these bizarre National Sewing Machine Day.
Yeah.
What do? Celebrate your sewing machine?
Woo!
Go get one? Whoa, yeah, thank you. It's like, whoa.
I don't know. I mean, sewing machines have revolutionized family life.
Before, it was the year back. It was the year before we were married. I bought Orlean a really nice sewing machine. This was back 46 years ago.
Did it have a pedal?
I spent no, it did not have a pedal. No, it didn't.
It was
I was in college,
electricity. Okay.
and there's this lady there, a student there, who was a seamstress and really know it. And I was mentioning to her, talking to her about, I'm thinking about getting a sewing machine for my girlfriend, and she said, don't get a cheap one, get a nice one. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, then will you come with me? Mm-hmm. I said, I don't know what a nice one is. So literally she did. We went to a store, and she helped shop me. And again, I think this was a lot of money. If you think about it, this was 47 years ago. I spent $300.
That is a lot of money.
Back in the day.
Yeah, it
and
is.
this sewing machine is like, she said, this is going to last the rest of your life.
That's just it. They can either be a legacy piece,
Yep.
or they can wear out with the plastic in 7 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a National Weed Your Garden Day.
Nope, no thanks.
Okay, a Random Acts of Light Day. I don't know. Does that mean we need to carry a flashlight around? Flash something?
Yeah, it's just
No, I'm
flash
just
them or
kidding.
something. Yeah. Maybe it's when you tear your retina and you have a flash of light.
That'd be bad news.
Yeah, it would be.
Okay, World Softball Day.
Okay.
National Movie Night.
Okay.
Work at Home Father's Day.
Well, it gives them a long weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally does. Okay, so a couple to highlight, though. Tomorrow happens to be the 250th birthday of the Army.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I don't watch a lot of news and all that, but I caught that Trump was planning on some kind of big military parade or whatever else. It was going to cost like $14 million.
Surely that would have got axed by Doge or something.
Yeah, I don't know what all happened, but any of you guys heard anything about that?
I have not actually been paying attention to the news.
Yeah,
last
me
few
either.
days,
So.
It's also tomorrow's International Bath Day.
Everybody should take a bath.
Across the world, take a bath. It's Monkey Around Day.
That's kind of like every day around here.
Monkey Around. National Pop Goes the Weasel Day. Okay, so I want to land this plane, but I do want to tell you on Sunday, there's two things. It's Sneak a Kiss Day.
That sounds like fun.
So it
What are you looking at me for? Look at
Because
me.
you're so cute, Jake.
Oh, that's funny. First thing was like, God, I'm going to sneak up on Orleans several times throughout the day Sunday and sneak a kiss.
There you go.
I like it.
It's also National Kiss a Wookiee Day. For me and all my Star Wars friends out there, National Kiss a Wookiee Day.
And I think that's only a woman's day.
No.
Their husband's like a Wookiee.
Oh, yeah.
Hairy beast.
There are male and female Wookiees.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Well, I suppose so, to perpetuate the species and all that, but I've never seen a female Wookiee.
Oh, then you haven't watched enough of those movies.
Star Wars movies?
Yeah, there's I think one of them, I forget which one it is, but yeah.
Has a female Wookiee in it?
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Yeah. Pastor Mike. Oh, look, we just stumped Pastor Mike. What do you know about that?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a bow.
Yeah. Good thing we're not on TV because I lip-synced a word, yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly, as Mike knows, got some new chickens this spring.
Yeah.
And one of them is an Americana, and we have a couple others of those, and they grow these puffy faces. And this one is so incredibly cuddly. She'll go out there and sit down. It just runs right into her arms and snuggles into her shirt or her jacket. And she says, I think we need to call him Chewy.
Oh, yeah.
Because Chewbacca's kind of a cuddly-looking thing, and he's got the same colors, so...
Mm-hmm. Nice. Chewy.
Chewy. Call him Chewy. Wow.
Our little dog is named Wicket, after the leader of the Ewoks on Endor.
I've known your dog's name Wicket for a long time. I had no idea that it had a background,
Oh, totally. Yeah.
a reason.
Yeah. Wicket.
I just thought you were on drugs and just dreamed it up.
Nope.
Nope.
The kids were around, so
Not
they
so much,
they weighed
yeah.
in on that one at the
Oh,
time.
God,
So yeah.
yeah, that is really funny.
So, what's on your mind today?
You know, there are quite a few things. I'm thankful for good health. It's a good thing. Be thankful every day.
It is.
Each day's a gift. Wake up, all that kind of thing. Here, let's see. I'm looking forward to Sunday, but also a little bit nervous and scared half to death.
And why would that possibly be?
Well, because you remember Mother's Day, I had my mom
Yeah.
on the platform with me, and we just had this chat. And I have to admit, it was a great Mother's Day. The people of the congregation kind of know my mom because she interrupts me right during Sunday sermons.
Well, there's that, but she's also been, a member around here since Jesus was a little boy.
Well, it's true.
So they know her, and she's been around. So.
Yeah. And she has become very endearing to them.
Yes.
And I love the way the people of the congregation are very gracious. They're very kind to her. And they find her to be very fun and effervescent, and she is. I always tease her about wearing high heels. You shouldn't do that anymore. You're 88 years old. The floor is slippery. Don't be wearing, that kind of thing, So
Is it working?
she has kind of toned down the things. So anyway, so Sunday, for Mother's Day, she's on the platform with me. We're sitting in 2 tall chairs. And what are you doing out there? Oh, my gosh.
So for people who can't see right now, Renee Morris, part of our Marcom department, is taking a video of Pastor Mike, and our station manager, Jenny, is there.
I think she was the instigator of the whole thing.
Imagine.
Yeah.
This must
boy.
be really important.
Right.
Jenny's getting up some pickleball
Yeah.
to come and watch this activity.
And I know, that's kind of crazy. Well, okay, for our listeners' sake, I'm wearing a hospital gown, and I still have a hospital wristband on, because I thought it'd be kind of funny to show up, because some of the guys knew that I was in the hospital last night. Just checking out, and everything's fine. But when I was there, so, they were praying for me, concerned, because it seemed very, very serious. It was a long story, which you know the story, but so anyway, so I thought I'd show up. So before I left the hospital, I asked the nurse, because I pulled out my own IV. I hook
You're
all
one
those
of
things.
those kind of patients,
I am.
huh?
I'm one of those kind of patients. I was getting ready to go. Doctor said, "Hey, we're going to let you go." So I started peeling all those things off my chest and my legs and my arms and belly, and then I pulled my IV out, and so anyways, I asked the nurse as I was getting ready to leave. I said, I got a Bible study tomorrow morning. There's going to be between 20 and 30 guys there, and I would love, because most of them will probably have heard that I've been in the hospital. So can I take this gown home and I will bring it back tomorrow? And she smiled. She says, "You don't got to bring it back. You just take it."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it'll be interesting to see if it shows up on the bill.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Anyway, so that's the deal. So I have this on because I didn't have time to change. I did bring a change of clothes, so I am going to change as soon as the show's over. I'll get out of this very drafty
It is kind of
hospital
drafty,
gown.
yeah.
Yes. Excuse me. No, so back to my dad. So that was for Mother's Day, and so many people, I think you'd agree, so many people thought it was a great service.
Very much.
They loved the interview and seeing my mom, and I asked her about her past and how she became a Christian and all that kind of stuff. What's it like to be a mom? She had 4 boys. So this Sunday I decided, it's Father's Day, I decided to have my dad come up and do the same thing. I am terrified. I was a little concerned with my mom, and I was like, God, this could go either way, or it could be really boring, it could be exciting, and everybody loved it.
Yes.
I heard so many comments
Yes, it's
that
true.
they really loved, and it was a very endearing time with her and I up there on the platform and all that. So now I asked my dad, it's Father's Day. He is going to be 89 June 16th. So he's, for all practical reasons, he's, 89. And, oh boy.
What a privilege, though. I mean, first off, to be able to have your parents around.
Yep, still at this age, yep.
Is just wonderful. And, highlighting, I don't know, I think it's wonderful for all of us to appreciate our generations and enjoy one another that way, from our youth all the way up to our elderly. And, your dad's got great stories, he's been around.
Oh, God has been so gracious to him. I mean, he really is a walking miracle. It has been nothing but the grace of God. We all, his boys, we all expected him to be dead in his early 60s. Because he had such bad heart issues when he was in his early 50s. Started out back in those days with the angioplasties, angio balloon things. And then he went to stents. And then they went to open heart, opening everything up. I think he had a triple bypass.
Wow.
And right now, all the smaller arteries around his heart are plugged. But they're smaller. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have very much energy. He can't walk very far and all that. But he's still alive. And you're right. I think it's kind of a blessing to be at my age and I still have my parents here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and two, I think, in America, different than other cultures around the world, a lot of times there's multi-generations in the same house.
Yes.
And there are cultures where there really are not. I think about the Japanese folks and Chinese folks. They the access to elder care is different. It's assumed that they're living in the house with the family and all of that kind of stuff. And in America, it is a bit different sometimes. And so to be able to have your folks around and
they still live independently. I mean, wonder how long this is going to last, but yeah, they still live taking care of themselves in their house, in a house. And they're doing good. So anyway, this Sunday, I'm going to have my dad on the platform with me, and I am a little bit more nervous than I was with my mother, because you never know where he's going to go with a story or something. And my biggest concern now, and I say this lovingly, but I'm not sure if once he takes off on this story, if he at times doesn't get lost and he doesn't know how to get back because he wasn't really sure where he was headed, like a path down the forest. But then I do that once in a while too.
What?
Yeah, right, exactly.
No, what's really interesting though is I think I know you are pondering questions and things to talk with your dad about. It would be interesting if there are any questions that the listeners have that they would like to hear from Pastor Doug. You can certainly submit them at WAJC on our Facebook page, or you can email them to WAJC@yourliferadio.com, and we'll pull those questions off for you to be able to consider.
That would be very fun. That'd be very, very interesting. So if you have questions for me to ask my dad this Sunday, man, send them in. That'd be great. By the way, that's where you go. You go to yourliferadio.com to our website, and you can be filled in on all the things that are going on. There is a podcast, Chew on This, by Pastor Orlean on Mondays and Tuesdays that plays, and then Pastor Bill and his wife Denise, they have a live show on Thursdays from noon till 1, and then obviously right here, Something to Think About, every Friday. And you'll also be able to see all the advertisements, the things that are going on, like at the CLC Church. The CLC Church, our campus in Chisago City. Harmony in the Park, Wednesday, June 18th. It's Wednesday, Harmony in the Park. It's going to be great to be out there and give away free cookies, face painting, hair, the hair stuff, brush tattoos, bouncy house, going to be all kinds of things. Then Wednesday, July 9th, they're going to start a summer of testimonies from people from Maranatha.
Very cool.
I love hearing testimonies, hear people's stories. It's really cool. Then they have a hen house summer. Hey, this is going to be Rep. Kelly's alley, Jay, because Bill and Denise, they have chickens. And he weaves stories of their chickens in the messages sometimes. And the people up there that go to that church, the congregation up there, they love hearing the stories about the chickens.
I could see that. They all have different personalities.
Yeah. So Hen House Summer. It's a Tuesday, and it's going to be at Paradise Park up in Chisago City. And then the 4th of July services, there is no 11 o'clock service that day up there. And here, 4th of July, it's a big deal in Forest Lake. And we march in the parade. And with this year, we're going to be wearing shirts supporting our military.
Yes.
Yep, it's going to be a really big deal. And again, thanks to all the military people out there.
We wouldn't be here without them.
Well, no, we should have a kiss with a military person. No, never mind.
Oh,
I just saw the reaction on your face, and you go, no, Mike, that's not a good idea.
No,
not a good idea.
I'm just thinking that's generally called assault. I mean, you got to kind of know.
Do you remember the day of the Vulcans? Again, younger generations wouldn't remember this.
I was assaulted by a Vulcan when I got to Minnesota.
Really? Yeah.
I had smooch all over my face.
Yep,
I'm
that
like,
big black,
dude.
that big black mark on the side of your cheek.
What are you doing? I say nay.
And they stopped that. Yeah, they don't do that anymore because it was rather
Offensive?
could have been.
Yeah, they were
could have
probably
been.
getting lots of feedback about that.
Probably.
Yeah. I think they still do something like that.
I think they take a mark. And
Yeah,
they don't.
can't get
'cause
their
they used to
face
have it on their
closed.
cheeks, and they'd rub their cheek up against a woman's cheek and get the black to go from. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, who knows? Yeah, anyway. Ooh.
Used to you prim and proper Southern girls coming up
No,
here.
how many women's he's been kissing? And then he comes and put no, thank you. No, thank you.
So yeah, our younger generation have never seen that or are not aware of that. They're going, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look it up. Probably on YouTube somewhere.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, probably.
I was 19.
Never thought about
It's
it.
just crazy.
Yeah.
At the time. I'm not 19 anymore. But
Yeah. Well, it would be just as crazy today, I'm sure.
Oh, even more so, probably.
Even more so?
Yeah, even more so.
You're a little smarter,
Well,
a little wiser.
hopefully. Yeah, I know Jesus. He's helped a ton.
I tell you what, on that note, we're going to step away for a station break.
You're listening to Something to Think About with me, Pastor Mike, a production of WAJC, Your Life Radio on 88.1 and 91.7 FM. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions or comments about today's show, email us at wajc@yourliferadio.com. If you're ever in the Forest Lake area, I'd love to personally invite you to join us for a Sunday morning service at 9:30 a.m. or Wednesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. There's something for everyone.
Something to Think About with Pastor Mike is a production of WAJC Your Life Radio, which is owned and operated by Maranatha Assembly of God in Forest Lake, Minnesota. You can find more information on the web at realchurch.org. Now, back to Something to Think About.
Back to Something to Think About here. Welcome back. Okay, so I wasn't going to go down this road, but during this little break, I thought, I'm going to use it as a public service announcement to encourage men especially, but women as well. If you think that there's issues going on in your health, especially like heart attack, stroke kind of thing, you ought to deal with it. So a couple months ago, I am having these episodes, and they just pop up randomly where my vision gets, for lack of a better term, the kaleidoscope, where the multiple colors are going on, and I'm dizzy, and I can't focus my eyes on something very clearly. Everything's really fuzzy, and I just feel a little airheady. And they usually these episodes last about 15 to 20 minutes, then they'd go away, and I'd feel fine. And it's been happening a little more regularly, and then a little longer, too. Well, yesterday, I was over in Andover, and on the way back from this meeting, I'm coming back, and all of a sudden, it's happening again. And when I'm driving, it's a little concerning because your focus isn't there. And all I could think of is back in the days when I used to do drugs and getting high. That's how I felt. I felt just this, like I was driving like I was high. And, the kaleidoscope, the whole thing. So anyway, I came back to church. And I'm sharing with a few of you, because we had another meeting at 1:30, and so I'm sharing with you guys how I'm feeling and all that. And you asked me a couple questions because Arnie's a,
Critical care medic.
medic and all that. So you asked me. She said, "Do you feel?" Because I'm still feeling this disoriented and my eyesight and weird stuff. Mm-hmm. And you said, "Do you feel sweaty or clammy?" And I go, "No." And then you said, I'm not sure if you remember, you looked at me and you said, "You don't look like you're under distress either, so duress." And I'm like, "No, I really don't feel that way. It's just this eyesight thing. It's just bizarre."
Well, and I should say, I'm not a medical professional, but
Yeah, you
pick up stuff.
You
but
pick up stuff
still.
as you're going along. Oh, and by the way, so on my driving home too, my left hand went numb. I thought, that never happened before. This is weird. And this whole vision thing. So I come into the office, have the meeting, and you guys are urging me, you should probably go to the doctor. And I'm thinking, it's lasted for over an hour now. And I'm like, I've been having these, and they're coming more frequently. I said, I'm thinking to myself, I probably should. But I knew if I go up to the hospital, I'm going to be there
for hours,
for a long time, and I have a funeral to do at 4:00.
Right. Yeah.
And all I could think of is, and I'm anguishing back and forth. Do I go to the hospital? Because you could really regret it if I should have went, and I didn't.
Yep.
But how do you abandon the funeral? You know, there's his funeral, and it's like, so I really was in a horrible, stressful situation, a quandary. 4 o'clock comes, funeral starts, and now I'm up on the platform, and now all of a sudden I get just all these symptoms are manifested even more, and I have more. I get up there, and out of the blue, I have this horrible pain going across my back. From one shoulder to the other shoulder, horizontally. Not like my spine back, it's going horizontally. And I'm wiggling, I'm trying to, sort it out and stretch it. I can't get rid of the pain. It's just intense. And I am now beginning to sweat and feel clammy. And I'm feeling some indigestion, which I'm thinking, okay, all these are signs of a heart attack. We're right in the beginnings of this funeral, and I'm thinking, I'm kind of committed here, and I'm stuck. And then I'm thinking, next time I get up and stand up at this chair, I hope I'm not so dizzy so I don't tip over. And my mind is just going 100 miles an hour. Is this the dumbest thing ever to stay here? How bad would it be if I had to get up and just leave? So they happen to have a lot of people giving eulogies, reading them. So as soon as the first one started, because I knew there were 6 more to go, I slipped out of the service, went to the back, talked to the sound guy. I said, hey, can you contact one of the staff, see if anybody has some aspirin? Because I thought, and I got a bottle of water, so I'm starting to hydrate more and trying to get some aspirin. And nobody had any aspirin. Well, we got ibuprofen, we have Tylenol, we have Advil, no aspirin. I'm like, okay. So then I said, hey, ask Pastor Michelle to get ready to fill in. If something happens, if I tip over or whatever, let her finish up doing the funeral. So the whole time I'm just in this horrible, dreadful, do I leave? Do I not? Is this going to be the biggest mistake to stay here if I end up having a heart attack or something? And long story short, aspirin comes in the room just as I'm beginning my message. I'm down on the floor and just at this convenient spot because I can see that somebody's waiting over there for me to grab some aspirin from their hand. I take my bottle of water, walk over there, pop the pills out, swallow the aspirin, and everybody watches me and they go, that's a little bit odd. So I made a joke out of it, continued my message, and felt great. I felt great. Did the whole message. But because things were so bad and I was really pondering this, I made a commitment that even if I feel better, I am going to go to the doctor when this funeral's over. So I did. Long story short, they did, EKG and KGBD and ST9. And they, drew blood right away, did an EKG, everything's fine. Then they did a brain scan. I said, Doc, there is a brain there, right? You did a scan check. Hey, can you write me a note so I can tell my wife that it's truly there, not somewhere else? And anyway, so the long story short is I'm fine.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, no, and I decided now to tell this whole story. Not that you'd be concerned for me, because I am fine. it's not that.
Well, now we know. We have a line in the sand.
Exactly. So I'm not sharing the story for that reason. But I am sharing the story for some of you out there. You'll hesitate too long.
Yeah.
And that's how people die. It's really, seriously, if you're messing with, it could be a heart attack. You get this nauseated feeling, and like you're not going to go in. Symptoms of a stroke. You gotta go in. Amen. You just do.
Well, and part of it that goes through my mind is, if something is indeed blocked, the longer you wait, the more cellular death there is.
Yeah.
You're starving whatever's on the other side of that blockage of life-giving blood flow. And you may survive, but you don't know what those long-term consequences are. Just had someone in my world had a micro stroke in their eye, and the bottom portion of their vision is now permanently gone.
Permanently lost.
But, so you just,
And again, especially as we get older. Hey, if you're in your middle 40s and you think, I'm too young for a heart attack or a stroke, you are not.
That's right.
If you start having these kind of symptoms, you need, and I'm going to tell you right now, because like I said, I just shared with you the wrestling battle I had. It takes some courage to go in and do the right thing.
It does.
You're not going to feel foolish later. You're going to feel like, oh, God, I shouldn't have went and everything else. Hey, tell you what, not one medical doctor, not one nurse there, or anybody else, your loved ones, are going to think you made a poor choice.
Right.
Nobody. They're going to tell you that was the right choice to make. So go in, get checked. Because now I feel like Superman.
Well, I'm really glad it worked out as well as it did.
Yeah.
You know, that was a whole lot of stress for everybody involved. And, you know, at this point, we thank the Lord for good health, and now we know, and that this family had a really nice funeral, you know, to celebrate their loved one.
Yep, glad to do it. And right now, I know our listeners can't see me, but I'm wearing my hospital gown. I still got my wristband on because I wanted to play a joke on the guys at Friday morning Bible study. So, the first comment I heard was,
what?
Okay, well, two. So, so this story gets better. So I decided to play a joke on the guys because I knew by this time some of the word had spread because I wasn't at Thursday night hang around. And they knew where I was, and a couple guys came up to the hospital, check on me and all that, which was really kind. So I thought I'm going to play this joke, right? So I'm going to wear the hospital gown into Bible study. Well, I come around the corner of the church, and guess what's happening?
Oh, yeah. Kids camp.
Yeah. There's hundreds of cars out there because they're going to kids camp.
That's right.
And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Of all days for me to try to play this joke, I'm wearing this. There is no way I'm going to get from there in the building without somebody seeing me. Sure enough, I get out of my truck. Somebody's parking their car, and it was Steve and Nicole.
Oh,
Steve
sure.
and Nikki.
Yeah.
Sal. And they yell out across, is everything okay? Because it looks like I just escaped out of the hospital. And I said, yeah, everything's okay. Well, then I had to walk from my office through the lobby, and there's, 100 people in there, kids and parents and everybody sees me dressed the way I am. There's always this, and like I said, of all days, are you kidding me? I got to go walk through the lobby, so I had to stop and tell some people. So one funny story. So the first lady that sees me, she said, so did you just escape the mental ward?
She went right to mental
She went
ward.
right to the mental, and that's why I teased her about. I said, what? You didn't even accuse me of going to the doctor? You went straight to the mental ward? What is wrong with you? So we had that, and then another person came up and said, the same thing. Says, it was about the same thing. Didn't go to the doctor, went straight to the mental ward thing. And I'm like, are you kidding me? God, you guys give me a break.
Some people apparently know you better than you think.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, gosh. Anyway, so I was just like, are you kidding me? When I first came around the corner, seeing all the cars there, and I realized, there's no way I'm getting out of this. Dressed this way.
And those gowns are pretty breezy.
Yeah.
They're pretty breezy.
So when I finally got into the Bible study, the men, the first comment from guys were, "Sure glad you got pants on." That
They
was the
didn't want
first
to see your
comment I get from
biscuits
these
either,
guys.
huh?
Yeah. Sure glad you got pants on. Yeah, that was. Yeah, really.
Never
wild.
a dull moment, Pastor Mike.
Never a dull moment. Life is
Never.
interesting, and you gotta, just go ahead. So, there is a group of guys from high school that I just got last summer. I did a wedding, and somebody from the wedding party said, "Hey, there's a friend of yours that you went to high school with that wants to talk to you. So, are you leaving right away?" I said, "No, I'll stick around for a while." And sure enough, this guy comes up, and he's from my high school class, and hey, how you doing? Whatever else. And he tells me about this group that meets every other month, at a bar. They meet there, and everyone who wants to come, they can come, show up, and it's like really cool. They call it Mindy Tuesday. I'm not sure if Mindy Tuesday is a thing, or did they name this because one of the bartenders when they started it was named Mindy. I don't know. I'll have to ask somebody. So I've made a couple of them, and it's just good to see these old guys, classmates, and all that stuff. But again, we forget and we realize how health is a gift.
Oh.
So one of these classmates sitting down to my left, he was a 1%er. When COVID came, he was out for 2 months. He was intubated.
Wow.
I mean, that's like 1% of the people who, once you get intubated, ever come out of that and are healthy. And he made
amazing.
it. His wife, unfortunately, has went through several different aspects of cancer.
Oh.
And it's like, oh my gosh, man, they've been through a lot. The guy sitting right next to me, I won't use any names on the show here, but his wife has been through all this cancer stuff, and she is dying. There's nothing that I can do. And the reality is she is dying.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, and here he is, trying to look in and have some fellowship and that kind of thing. So then the guy to my right, he just finished having colon cancer surgery and is going to be beginning treatments.
Wow.
Chemo.
Okay. Wow.
Starting that, I'm like, Oh my gosh. And then across the table from him, his wife, same thing, been through all kinds of cancer stuff. It's at the end. There's nothing to do. She is dying.
Wow.
She is going to be dying. One guy that has been there for the last few meetings, he's had cancer for a while, but just found out at this meeting because he wasn't there. So people were asking him, hey, where's John? And they said his cancer has come back. It's kind of in other places in his body now, too. And I mean, so the prognosis is really horrible. So I'm sitting there thinking, and all around me, it's like, wow, your health is something to be thankful for.
Right.
And all of us start too late to try to take good care of it, but was it Confucius? He said, human beings, we're funny. He says, we spend or get bad health trying to make money. And then after we get older and have money, we spend all that money to try to regain our health.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, perspective.
Well, and I think about it. What a very cool door now that you have to be able to encourage those folks.
Yeah, because, again, I show up there as a pastor. First of all, the first time I showed up, they were all shocked because they're meeting in a bar. And their idea is that I would never, a pastor is never going to go in a bar and all that. And again, breaking stereotypes. I love to break stereotypes. I come walking in there, hey, guys, good to see you. And I got just this warm reception. But you could tell that they looked at me a little skeptically, like, well, what are you going to do here? Are you going to try to preach at us? And,
I mean, literally, pull out your ruler and whack my knuckles.
They really think that kind of thing, But I just had a great chance of just reconnecting and asking them about themselves and all that. So it's been a few times that we've gathered now. And now they're all comfortable. They've gotten all past teasing me and all that. So even in this last gathering, this last Tuesday, the one guy was talking about some of the things going on in his life, and I said, well, he told us the story, and I don't remember the exact story, but it was like something mystical or almost angelic happened in his life, and he's wondering if that was an angel or whatever. And I said, well, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. I said, this life is but a vapor, the Bible says. But we are a spirit. And that's all I said. I just got just that little burp. But again, I'm finding just little opportunities to make them go, Mike's not a scary guy. He's one of us.
Yep.
He's a real guy. But you can tell they're all curious, or they will eavesdrop or listen in a little bit if I'm talking just to see what I'm saying. So it's just a great fun. They literally are just a great group of fun guys.
That's very neat.
One of our classmates did pass away this last week. And he was just a fantastic guy. He really was the life of the party. His nickname was Caveman. He's just kind of this rough and tumble kind of a guy. He, for 36 years straight, was at Brainerd International Raceway for the Nationals.
Oh, wow.
He had a bus there.
Okay.
And it was back in the zoo area, which is on the end of the straightaway of the quarter mile. And he was so well known because he'd show up like Thursday or Wednesday before the gates even opened.
Okay.
He was like first in line because he wanted that spot. He had that spot for 36 years. He was so well known sometimes the drivers would come by to say hi to him.
What's this bus about?
It's just an old bus that he converted into like a motorhome. It's an old school bus.
Okay.
He built a rack on the top so you can stand up there and watch the races.
Oh, okay.
A lot of beer got drunk out of that bus and around that bus.
Okay.
And so much so that some of the drivers got to know him so well, they'd come by and say hi.
Oh, wow.
I was there and hearing the announcers on their television broadcast make mention of, Kevin Belisle down there, in the zoo. Stop and check him out, the bus down there. And anyway, just great. He had quick wit. He was enthusiastic. He had fun stories. But I remember, again, so now I'm going to shift gears here a little bit more serious thing. I'm always looking for an opportunity to try to share Jesus with people. And somebody like Kevin was always very difficult. Because usually when you share Jesus or you talk to somebody about anything, even like in sales, there's got to be a need. I can't sell you something if you don't have a need for it. So you try to convince somebody of your need. So Christian-wise, we tell them about heaven and Jesus brings more joy in your life. He already had all the joy in his life he wanted. He was the hardest person for me to ever talk about Jesus with because he didn't sense a need in any way, shape, or form. He took life so by the day, it was like, you're telling me stuff, Mike, that I have no interest in. I just whatever. So you got me his obituary, and I'm reading through it, and it's like, oh my gosh, he's had so many different odd jobs and different things. But there was a friend who summed up kind of his life, and I read this after I told you about Kevin.
Yeah.
That he was a hard guy. He just lived this carefree life. So then I get the obituary, and here's what I read. What can we take away from Kevin? Always be enthusiastic. Always be enthusiastic about the moment in which we live. God, Kevin did that. Do not worry about the past or be obsessed with the future. Take from today whatever it may offer and think along the lines of having a good time in the present without losing touch with old friends and memories of years ago. I'm thinking this is great news for any Christian. This is great news. So it goes on. This is, Kevin, now is the time, now is our time, not yesterday or tomorrow. Downplay the bad, uplift the good, smile and inspire others. This is what Kevin lived by in the years of his life, and may his good cheer always remind us to do the same. Happiness can be achieved by embracing today the pure glory of everyday life. It's like, when I read that, I'm thinking, that is how a Christian should live their life.
Right.
Don't fret and worry about the past. Move on, and don't think too much about the future either, because you might not have it. Live today. Tony Campolo wrote that book, Carpe Diem, Seize the Day. That's all you have. And Kevin, of all the people I know in my whole world, of all the people I've ever met, captured that essence better than anybody.
That's really cool.
It is.
That's really cool.
I have no idea if he had any kind of retirement or anything in front of him, or it really just didn't matter. He didn't worry about tomorrow. He lived today. It was he's just a great guy. When I think about that, it brings back memories of high school. And he has had a Kawasaki 900, 1975 Z1 900 Kawasaki. They refer to it as Mean Green. And he came to our very first car show.
Oh,
when we did the tire burnout contest and all that. Yeah, he was there doing a burnout on his Kawasaki. That bike is famous around Forest Lake area for people who know him.
Okay.
You see that bike, you know right away, oh, that's Kevin Belisle's bike.
Oh, wow.
His son Cam, who I married him and his wife 19 years ago, he was at our bike blessing with that bike, because I'm walking through, all the bikes out here.
Yeah.
And I'm walking through and meeting people, saying hi. I looked up and I seen Kevin's bike.
Yeah.
And I go, oh my gosh. So I, then picked up my eyes and looked around, and there's Cam, his son, standing there.
Nice.
I'm like, oh man, out of honor for his dad, he brought his motorcycle up to the blessing of the bikes.
That's so cool.
Isn't that just really, really cool?
That's very cool. It was great to meet him. He came into the office later that week, and we got to enjoy him. And yeah,
it was my pleasure to introduce Cam to all the staff, because he's just a remarkable young man. Did not have an easy upbringing, because Kevin lived by the day, not a whole lot of other things. So life was a little challenging to raise a kid. But Cam is just a super kid. Married, got a son, just a great kid. So, okay, as long as we're just gabbing, I'll tell you a funny story. So, all the weddings I've done, well over 300 in my life, I've never really had any real problem. Years ago, when I was racing, usually weddings are, you have a rehearsal on Friday, you do the wedding on Saturday. So it's just kind of a boom, boom. You have a rehearsal Friday night, do the wedding Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, whatever. Well, when I started racing, I couldn't have rehearsals on Friday night because I raced on Friday night. So we moved them back to Thursday. So we do Thursday night rehearsal, then you got all day Friday, I got the race Friday, and then Saturday you have the wedding. Well, I was marrying Cam, Kevin's son, and they were getting married at Panola Valley Garden. And so we had the rehearsal Thursday night. Friday comes along. Our daughter Samantha rides her motorcycle up from St. Peter, and so we all go to the racetrack Friday night, racing, get home late, get up early, kind of excited to have Samantha there, and we're out of the routine now. And we get up, say, hey, let's take our bikes. So Orlean got on her bike, me on mine, Samantha on her bike, and we drove down to Keys in White Bear. We go down there, and we're having a nice breakfast. We're done. And Samantha says, hey, I'm just going to go straight home up 61 and get home and get some homework done. And I said, okay, Mom and I are going to take the long way, scenic route, and just take our time to get home. Okay, so we take off. We are about a mile away from the restaurant. And all of a sudden, my heart slips down or up into my throat. And I realize, Mike, you got a wedding. I had completely forgot.
Oh, boy.
I just blitzed it. It's one of those times when you had those oh my gosh moments. Mm-hmm. This was it, majorly, because I'm about an hour away.
Wow. And you had how long?
And I had about an hour or just less.
Okay.
And I got to get from here to there. I am wearing jeans, a gray T-shirt, and a leather vest. That's it. And as soon as I realized that, I didn't say goodbye to Orlean. I didn't tell her anything. I just twisted the throttle and just went. I just took off. And I later found out Orlean thought I had to go to the bathroom. So I didn't tell her anything. I just took off. I'm going 100 miles an hour on my motorcycle down County Road 15 to get to 97, to get down to 1 or 3, whatever it is, to get over to Panola Valley Garden. Mm-hmm. Anyway, while I'm going down 15, I'm thinking, because my house is just go to the left a little bit, do I go home and change? And I'm thinking, I'm not going to have time. Mm-hmm. I am not going to have time. And this is Panola Valley Gardens. Things are
very segmented.
Very segmented. Yeah. It's time managed, scheduled. If I don't show up, they got all these people that came for a wedding. They're all there. If the minister don't show up, what do they do? Sorry, you just move on. So I made the decision. They're going to be happier to have me there than how I'm dressed.
Yeah, and they're going to be looking at her anyway.
Oh yeah. So we go. I go zipping up, and I come literally pulling in the grounds. It's like 2 minutes before showtime. 2 minutes, and Kevin, the guy that we're talking about here, it was his son Cam that was getting married, and Kevin was getting worried. Hey, Dad, where's Mike? He'll be here, don't worry. But everybody was nervous because we're 2 minutes to showtime. Mm-hmm. I'm nowhere to be found. Right. What do you think, right? So they're pacing. All of a sudden they hear a motorcycle come in the grounds, and I'm coming down. I come whipping up, literally, parked way farther ahead than I'm supposed to. I just parked it, got off bike. I said, you guys all ready? No, they said to me, are you okay? I said, hey, it's a funny story. 20 years from now, we'll laugh about it. Mm-hmm. So when I seen Cam out here that day for the bike blessing here a couple weeks ago, I said, how long you been married? He said, 19 years. I said, do you remember at your wedding when I said 20 years from now we'll laugh about this? Yeah. So we laughed because I showed up, and again, I'm just wearing jeans, not nice looking jeans either, just jeans, a gray T-shirt, and a leather vest. I show up. You guys all ready to go? Yep, ready to go. Ladies, you ready to go? Yep, let's go. Okay, let's go. And we literally, I have no book in front of me, no order of everything. But again, thankfully, I've done a lot of weddings.
You've done a lot of weddings,
I'm good to go. So we walk out there. It was really funny. So Cam and I walk out. We take our place up front and everybody. And I can just see everybody looking at me like, seriously? This is how the minister's going to dress for a wedding? I mean, it was palpable. Just this, how awkward looking I was, not dressed appropriately. So the procession begins, and they all file in. So finally the music stops, and I get a chance to welcome everybody. Welcome, everybody. It's good to have you all here. No doubt you're wondering, why am I dressed so casually? I said, I'm not going to tell you, but I'll tell you this. 20 years from now, we'll all laugh about this. Mm-hmm. And then I proceeded on with the wedding ceremony, and the wedding ceremonies that I do are very interesting. Mm-hmm. People forgot how I was dressed. It really didn't matter. So I was glad I was there. But anyway, that was Cam.
Wow.
And it was good just to reconnect here 19 years after I did and performed his wedding.
Wow.
Pretty wild.
That is pretty wild.
Hey, I'm looking at the time. It's like, man, it flies by sometimes. Mm-hmm. And we got to get ready to go. So before we go, I just want to encourage everybody, two things. Don't put off. If you got some health things, whatever, man, you're not going to feel stupid. You just need to take care of it. Yep. You really do. And then secondly, man, let's be inspired by Kevin's life. Mm-hmm. Live today. Make sure you live it. And these two things kind of go together. Yeah. They do. God bless you all. I look forward to being with you again next Friday.
Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Please join us right here each Friday morning at 8 a.m. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, email wajc@yourliferadio.com. You can hear more from Pastor Mike at Maranatha's website, realchurch.org, on the Messages and Media tab. The opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of the owner.